Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our post-arrival seminar for Filipino expats in Türkiye, an important gathering where we come together as fellow Filipinos to learn, prepare, and support one another as we settle into a new life abroad. Our hope is that through this seminar, you will gain valuable insights into Turkish law. We also aim to share essential do's and don'ts to help navigate life in Turkey safely and confidently. I am Helena Tan. I'm the 18th officer and that focal point person of the embassy, and I have the privilege of serving you as your moderator for today's program. To officially commence our program, it is my distinct honor to present a message from our esteemed ambassador, His Excellency Henry S. Bensorte Jr., the Philippine Ambassador to Turkey, Georgia, and Azerbaijan. Ambassador Bensorto has an outstanding academic and professional background, holding a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science from the University of the Philippines, a Juris Doctor's degree from the San Beda University College of Law, a distinction in Public International Law from the University of Oxford, and a diploma in the Law of the Sea from the Rhodes Academy of Oceans Law and Policy in Greece. His professional journey is equally impressive, having served as the Consul General at the Philippine Consulate General in San Francisco, USA. Notably, he was the lead counsel for the Philippine legal team in the 2013 South China Sea arbitration case and played a crucial role in formulating significant legislation such as the Philippine Archipelagic Baseline Law and the Maritime Delimitation Agreement with Indonesia. His contributions to Philippine foreign policy have earned him numerous prestigious awards, and he is a respected voice in maritime issues and public international law. Although Ambassador Bensorto is unable to be with us in person today due to his involvement in the evacuations of Filipinos from the Middle East, he prepared a recorded message to welcome you all and to share his insights about the seminar. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to listen to this recorded message.
Good afternoon, magandang hapon po, i-action learned to all of you, everyone. It is my great honor and pleasure to welcome you all here today. First and foremost, I want to extend my warmest greetings to our beloved Filipino expats who have journeyed all the way to Turkey, your new home away from home. Your courage, resilience, and dedication are truly admirable. And we, at the Philippine Embassy, the Office of Migrant Workers, and the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration are here to support you every step of the way. Today's gathering is more than just a seminar. It is a sign of our commitment to ensuring your safety, well-being, and success while working and living in Turkey. We understand that moving to a new country comes with a mixture of excitement and uncertainties. Our goal is to make that transition as smooth and as positive as possible by providing you with essential information, guidance, and resources that will help you navigate your new environment confidently, comfortably, and conveniently. This seminar is designed to serve as your home away from home, to provide you all a safe place where you can learn about what to expect in Turkey, the do's and don'ts of this country, and how to make your life better and more fulfilling during your stay. It is important to familiarize yourself with the local culture, laws, and workplace etiquettes, not only to avoid misunderstandings, but also to foster respect and harmony within the Filipino community and with your employers. Remember, Knowing your rights and responsibilities under Turkish labor and migration laws is crucial. It empowers you to stand up for yourself and seek help when needed. We also want to introduce you to the vital services of the Office of Migrant Workers and OWA, which are always ready to assist you, whether you need legal support, welfare services, or emergency assistance. As your representative here in Turkey, our message is clear. You are not alone. You are part of a larger Filipino community that cares for you deeply. We are your family, your support system, your home away from home. We encourage you to reach out, ask questions, connect with your fellow Filipinos, and make full use of the resources available to all of you. In closing, I want to remind everyone that your hard work and perseverance are highly valued, not only by your families back home, but also by your host country. We are confident that with the right knowledge, attitude, and support, you will continue to excel and make a positive impact wherever you are in Turkey. Once again, welcome and thank you for being here today. Let's work together to make your stay here in Turkey safe, productive, and rewarding. Pinay ako, taas noo. Pinoy ako, proud ako. Mabuhay ang manggagawang Pilipino at Pilipina. Thank you.
Now let's move on to our main program. We have planned 3 presentations for today's program. However, we regret to inform you that due to the ongoing situation in Lebanon, MWO and OWA cannot be with us today. Nonetheless, we assure you that the lecture from our legal expert will be highly valuable and definitely deserving of your participation. Should you have any questions from MWO and OWA, we will be happy to provide their contact details to facilitate direct communications. Today's presentation is composed of a lecture, followed by a question and answer segment to address any queries you may have. We encourage active engagement from both our on-site and online participants. For those joining us virtually, please submit your questions in the Facebook comments sections and we will do our best to address them during the Q&A. Now to start our program, I'd like to invite our legal expert, Attorney Bushra Altinda Akin. Attorney Akin completed her law degree from the Bilkent University Faculty of Law. Following her graduation, she completed her mandatory legal internship at one of Istanbul's most reputable firms and subsequently continued her career there. She earned her master's degree in law from the Munich Intellectual Property Law Center in Germany. Attorney Akin is fluent in English and German and specializes in intellectual and industrial property law, labor law, immigration law, corporate and commercial law, contract law, and the law of foundations and associations. She is a registered lawyer with the Ankara Bar Association and a member of several professional organizations. Since 2018, she has been a partner of AABG Law Office. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Attorney Bushra Altinda Akin.
Hello, welcome. First of all, I would like to say that it is an honor to be here today with you. And again, once more, welcome to Turkey. I'm sure that most of you recently moved to Turkey, and I hope this will be a unique stay and productive and fruitful stay for you. 8 months ago, nearly 8 months ago, a Filipino, a friend of yours, joined to our family. I have a 2-year-old baby, and she is here for us to help us with taking care of our baby and domestic works in our home. Thinking that story, I think it's good to say that I know it is hard thing for you to come here from all that way and leaving your families ahead. But I'm sure that you are all strong and hardworking people, so that the first thing I would like to say that the first tip to create a good relation here in Turkey with your families and with your employers is to be open and straight and to talk everything, every problem that you have with the families, with the employers and with the embassy as well. They are here, we are here for you. This is hard. I know this is hard for you, but this is hard for us as well, because for example, this is the first experience of ours that living with a different national from Philippines. But now we are really happy. I hope all you will be so happy in that journey. This is our outline for today. I want to mention a little bit about Turkish culture to make you familiar. And then, of course, Turkish labor law, Turkish immigration and citizenship law, family law, criminal law, and at the end, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. So, starting with the Turkish culture, I think it is not wrong to say that it's a blend of East and West, because when you think about the accommodation of our continent, it's just in the middle of Asia and Europe. And if you think about Istanbul, we have Bosphorus, maybe you know it, and it splits the city into two. One side is Europe and one side is Asia. So our cultural heritage is a fusion of Eastern and Western, and reflecting its historical significance as a crossroads between countries. And of course we have a variety of historical places, because maybe you checked before you arrive here, like there were lots of ancient civilizations lived here in Turkey, like Byzantium, Ottoman Empire. And now our population is, the registered one is around 87 billion, and our official language is Turkish, but like half of the country, especially in the big cities, can speak English. And the registered religion is Islam. The government type is Unitary Presidential Republic, and the ethnic groups are majority of Turkish, 75% of Turkish. And I would like to mention about the most impressive historical sites in Turkey. Maybe you will have time to visit them in your, maybe not off days, but annual leaves. The first one is Ephesus. I know maybe you know it, because I think it's crucial for your religion in Christianity. It is in Izmir, and it was the Roman capital of Asia Minor, and now it's one of the 7 wonders of ancient world. There was really good churches that you can visit. I suggest you go there. And the second one is Hagia Sophia. It's in Istanbul. It was one of the biggest churches in Europe. It used to be church. At the era of Ottoman Empire, they converted it into a mosque, and now it's mosque. It's in Istanbul, in the historical side. And the other one is Cappadocia. It's close to here. It's 2.5 hours to Ankara. I would like to mention that it's not like handmade. It's like naturally made, like with the winds. There is a big valley that you can see, like these stone shapes, and some of them has churches inside it. And like early in the morning in sunset, they have these hot air balloons, and you can see all from up. And the last one is, of course we have more, but to be more specific, the last one is Göbekli Tepe. It's in Şanlıurfa, it's in eastern side of Turkey. Actually, it is like one of the World Heritage Lists of UNESCO in 2018, but still they can't figure out when did they create this or how big is this. So this is another sites, impressive sites. And let's talk about a little bit tips for Turkish culture. The first thing I would like to mention about it's hospitality. Like as Turkish families, we are crowded families and we like to see each other so often, and our families, friends, neighbors, we like this. The first question when Marifel, her name is Marifel, she arrived in Turkey, she asked me that, did you see each other, your families, that much, that often? I said yes, we see each other that much. Because like, let's say 5 days in a week, we see each other if we live in the same city. They want to see their grandchild. So in our culture, maybe this will be different from yours, because Marifel told me that we only see each other in special days, like in holidays. So we like having guests. And it's really like, guest is really important for us. We want to treat them in a good manner. We want to feed them. And if they're coming from another city or country, we offer them to stay with us, to sleep in our house. The other tips related to hospitality is treating. We call them ikram in Turkish. We like to I don't know how to translate it in other languages because maybe they don't have that much like us. Treating is a way to welcome guests and is a presentation in a short-term seeing or meeting place. For example, in restaurants, if you go, they will offer tea, they will ask for a tea, they will ask for a coffee, or if you just go to a Turkish house, they will just, the first thing they ask, would you drink coffee or Turkish tea? It's like the same. And maybe different from yours. Marifel also asked me, when I was preparing this presentation, I tried to remember those days because she was asking me, is it free in restaurants or in your, for example, in our law firm, she asked, did you give free to your employees tea or coffee? I said, of course it's free here in Turkey. So she was a little bit surprised. And let's talk about religious and public holidays. Since our registered religion is Islam, yes, we are a secular state, but also we care about religious holidays, and we generally come together with our families in religious holidays, and we have some traditions. We have two. First one is feast, Ramazan feast. And the second one is sacrifice feast. In Ramadan, maybe if you worked before in United Arab Emirates or Dubai, etc., maybe you will know it about Ramadan. And I know that there's a Muslim population in Philippines as well. Like 30 days, we don't eat, generally, we don't eat anything or drink anything in the defined times. And the other is sacrifice feast. Every year they change, the dates are changed. And the national holidays are these that I wrote. We are holiday at those days. And social interactions. Like in Turkey, greetings are essential. We say in Turkish merhaba to each other when we see each other. It's hello. And we shake hands and we kiss each other twice. And Turkish people are generally warm and hospitable and value really close personal relationships. But of course, at the same time, we know our borders and intimacy is important for us. The second thing is maintaining eye contact. If you keep the eye contact when you're speaking at local, this means that you are sincere and you are following the conversation. And respect for elders, I think it's important because maybe in your new families you will have like grandparents, and if they come to our home, the first thing that we do, we stand up and open the door, say hello. Of course we can sit and like welcome them, but this is more proper way to do this. And maybe it's good to mention about dress code and modesty. Of course, like in big cities like Ankara, Istanbul, Izmir, it's okay, whatever to wear, what you want. But sometimes in like small cities and the ones in eastern side, maybe it will be better for you to dress modestly, especially in rural areas and when visiting religious sites like mosques. If you want to visit a mosque like a touristic site, you will see that the signs, you need to cover your head, like just a symbolical things. And etiquette in Turkish home, I mentioned that Turkish hospitality is legendary, and if you are invited into someone's home, you will likely be to received warmly. And these are another tips for you. We remove our shoes when we go inside, generally like say 90%. And if you are going to a local family, maybe local friend, it's good to bring the gift. And offering to help, while the host may politely decline, offering help only once would be nice. And dining etiquette, we have 3-course meal like breakfast, lunch and dinner. We would like to eat dinner with all family if we all arrive at home. And we like eating everything like meat, fish, chicken. We have a diversity of food, fruits and vegetables. And of course we have rice. I think this is nice or good for you. Like we eat nearly all food with rice. So Turkish tea and coffee, if you haven't tried, I suggest you to try it. You can find it everywhere. Sharing meals, if we go to a dinner, for example, a big family and friends, generally we order something in the middle and we would like to share, so feel free to share. Maybe this is important, polite way to decline. For example, my mom, she likes really insisting on to feed people, to feed guests. When if I first arrived, they always want to feed her, like giving rice, giving something. But if you are just full, say no, okay, thank you, I'm full. It's a polite way to decline it. So briefly, moving to Turkey offers a fantastic experience filled with rich history, diverse culture, and warm hospitality. By understanding and respecting Turkish customs, social norms, and etiquette, you can integrate more easily into Turkish society and build meaningful relationship with locals. This is the first part about Turkish culture, and now it's about, let's talk about a little bit law, Turkish law, because you all know that you are here with an employment contract, so this means that you have a labor relationship with your employers, and I will mention about these subtopics in next slides. As per Article 2 of our Turkish labor law, the employee is a real person working under an employment contract. An employer is a real or a corporate person, generally in your situation a real person, or an uncorporate institution or an organization employing employees, and the relationship between them shall be referred to as employment relationship. And in our labor law we have different kinds of contracts: open-ended, fixed-term, full-time, part-time, on-call, contracts with trial period, etc. And when thinking yours, we can say that it's a fixed term because you have it is bound with the work permit, so it is a fixed term contract. And of course, as Mr. Ambassador said, it is really vital to know rights and obligations of yours and your employers under employment law to be more safe, productive. So I can say that the primary obligations of the employer towards the employee are obtaining the work permit first and obtaining the insurance, of course pay the salary of the employee and the other social security premiums, because if they don't pay your social security premiums other than that your salary, this means you cannot use this health system, Turkish health system. So this is important. Of course, other than law, you know that we all have this employment contract, and there are any other issues like mentioned in this contract. So we need to we need to check our employment contract and law. These two resources are important for us. An employer shall ensure weekly day off. You know that you need to have a 24 hours day off. It doesn't matter it is week inside a week or a weekend, but one day, 24 hours, you have this day off. Annual leave I will mention later. And the employer provide working tools and equipment covering all expenses required to work, protect the personality of the employee, and comply with the occupational health and safety measures. And what about your rights and obligations? The employee is obliged to perform her job personally towards the employer and must be diligent and loyal when performing. The employee must follow the instructions given by the employer and shall comply with the occupational health and safety measures. This is important, being diligent and loyal. What does it mean? Sometimes I heard from my clients that of course we are all friends, but sometimes we heard that the employees talk about the personal secrets inside the home with the other friends, so they know each other. So this is not something good. Actions like neglecting the instructions intentionally and continuously, not performing the duties without an excuse, swearing, theft, using illegal things such as drugs, etc., shall constitute a violation of the rules of morality and goodwill, and also a fair excuse to terminate the employment contract by your employer. And this means that you won't be entitled to any kind of right if they terminate it with a just cause. And other basic rights of the employee, job security and work permit. I mentioned that, like, be sure that now you all have work permits, but be sure that they renew it in the right time. It's important because if you don't have your work permit, this means you're illegal here. Annual leave rights. Full-time employees entitled to an average of 15 days off per year. If you worked for 1 year, then this means you will have 15 days annual leave, 14 days annual leave. And if you served more than 5 years, but less than 15 years, it's 20 days. And if you served more than 15 years, it should be not less than 26 days. This is important. Like if you in the application, this is what law says. But in the application, if you say that I don't want to use it at the end of the first year, you can use it like double at the end of the second year, like 30 days. If you want to use it, it's okay, it's legal. Or the other option, you will say, I don't want to use my leave, I'm going to work, but I want to take the money of my leave. That's the second option. Working conditions and right to rest. As per our law, no one can be employed in jobs that are not suited to their age, gender and strength. Minors and women, as well as those with physical and mental disabilities, are especially protected in terms of working conditions. And the rest is one of the basic rights in our law, in our labor law, and breaks are not counted as working hours. For example, jobs for lasting up to 4 hours, it's 15 days. Between 4 and 7.5 hours, it's 30 minutes. More than 7.5 hours, it's 1 hour break is mandatory. And I mentioned that employees are given at least 24 hours of rest within a week of work. These are important things. And the thing that I would like to mention, it doesn't written in our labor law, but it's the application of hours. When you are taking your off day, like your employers mostly will give you an allowance for that day, but it isn't written in the law. In law, it says that if you work on your off day, you are entitled like an overtime. But in our practice, it is not like that. And the termination of the contract, we have 2 types of termination. One is with notice, and in our standard employment contracts with you, it's written that if you want to do it with a notice, you need to notice your employers at least 1 month prior. It is important. And the other is premature termination. I mentioned this. It's like a termination with a cause. Both employer and employee have right to terminate the employment contract if the cases in the law happened, like disease or cases arising from immoral, dishonorable conducts or similar behaviors or force majeure. Severance pay, I don't know, maybe you will have in Philippines as well. If you terminate your employment contract with a just cause, if you are right, this means, and if you work more than 1 year, this means you will entitled to severance pay. And severance pay is equal to 30 days of salary, your gross salary, and you will multiply that salary, that gross salary, with the term of service. For example, this is the example. If your gross salary is 40,000 Turkish liras and your term of service is 4 years, then you will entitled to take 160,000 Turkish liras. But just I want to mention it again. If you are the right side to terminate the contract, this means if your employer like make the let's say about harassment or violence. If you have these kinds of situations, you have right to terminate your contract, and then if you work more than 1 year, you entitled to severance pay. Dispute resolution. I hope none of you will have this part, but it's good to mention it. We have specialized labor courts in Turkey, in all cities, in 81 cities, but since our number of the cases are really much, if you apply to a court, it will take at least 2 or 3 years to get the final decision. So it is really time and money consuming period. So I suggest you, like as is written in our employment contracts, we have this amicable settlement first applying to embassy. If you have any problem with your employer, the best way is to apply to embassy. And we had this mandatory mediation starting from 2018. If you want to go to court, first you need to apply mediation, and the mediator takes both parts, and he or she will try to solve this dispute. If you don't settle, then you need to go to court, and it's Turkish court, and the applicable law is Turkish law, but as I said before, it will take at least 2 or 3 years, so it's good to solve this like friendly. Rights of employee under social security laws. I told you that one of the obligations of your employer is paying your social security premiums if you are a legal worker. If they don't pay it, you can't access to healthcare service, pensions, and other benefits. Employers are responsible for ensuring foreign workers that are covered under social security system. This means like you can go all public hospitals and access to healthcare system. And our law as well prohibits discrimination against employees based on factors such as race, gender, nationality, or religion. And if you may face these kinds of situations, of course you will have rights under the law. You can again terminate your contract, and if all the conditions are okay, then you will entitled to a discrimination pay if you apply to court. And of course, discrimination against foreign workers may lead to criminal prosecution under the Turkish Penal Code. If an employer or another employee commits a discrimination that will result in harm, promote hatred, or humiliates a foreign worker, the employer may face criminal charges. Penalties for such violations can range from fines to imprisonment, depending on the severity of the offense. For example, inciting racial hatred or committing acts of violence against a foreign worker can result in harsher penalties, including prison sentences of up to 3 years. Criminal liability also extends to workplace harassment or any verbal or physical abuse targeted at foreign employees due to their nationality or ethnicity. And that was the labor law, a brief law. And this part is about immigration and citizenship law. This is important because, based on our experience, illegal workers have a great number in Turkey, from all nationalities. And of course, this is not safe for you and safe for the government. So please be sure that you have this residence permit and work permit. These are important. Resident permit granted by competent authorities, we call in Turkish Göç İdaresi, entitles the right to reside in a specific location in Turkey for a given period of time. Residence permit, which is of great importance in terms of the provision and protection of public order, shall be issued following the request and application by the foreigner together with the required documents, providing he or she fulfills the related conditions. But if you only have this residence permit, this means you can't work because you need to have your work permit. But if you have the work permit, it's okay. Work permit, this is an official document issued by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security that gives the foreigner the right to work and reside in Turkey within the validity period. And of course, I mentioned that your employers need to apply this, and you can't work with a work permit. This means you will become illegal. Your work permit, like this blue card, shall be stay with you. It's important because sometimes employer want to keep with herself or himself, but when you are walking just in the road, just if a police will ask you about your permits, you can show it and then it's okay. So if you don't have it, you can ask for it from your employers. And in case your work permit document, which is still valid, is lost or stolen or damaged in such a way that it cannot be used, it can be requested. You can apply to ministry and they will issue the new one if it is still valid. Illegal working in Turkey. Employing a foreigner illegally is a violation of Turkish laws and subject to sanctions. This practice is illegal both for employees and employers. This is important. Employers must ensure that all foreign employees have valid work permits, otherwise both employers and employees face the criminal and administrative penalties and fines as well. In addition to these penalties, there are other risks such as disputes arising out of workplace accidents, social security incentives, and being deported, etc. Unfortunately, sometimes in Turkey, being illegal, working illegal, sometimes promoted among the employers. However, believe me, this will be the worst thing that you will face too in Turkey, because you can't even walk through the Tunalı, Kızılay. You can't go there because we have police everywhere. If there's a security check, the police will arrest you and take you to a removal center, and you will stay jailed and deported. This is the worst scenario. Like I suggest, if you are not happy with the working conditions or with your employer, just talk it and try to solve it, because if you settle down like in an amicable way, maybe they will transfer your work permit to another employer so that you can still be legal. Otherwise, the life is not easy. In that context, since I mentioned that there are lots of illegal workers from all nationalities, Turkish government launched a new amnesty program starting from March till September for the illegal workers working in domestic services in Turkey. It's an opportunity for all illegal workers working or wishing to work in domestic services. But of course, there are some criteria, such as legal entry into country, I'm talking about your first entry, possession of a valid passport, a clean criminal record, and a formal commitment from an employer may be eligible to obtain legal work authorization. I say maybe because like we previously applied for amnesty for some illegal ones, and half of them is rejected again because it's like they investigated case by case. The other requirements there, including but not limited to, because sometimes Göç İdaresi will ask for additional documents from employers and employees. You need to have a valid passport, at least 9 months validity, not being deported before, not having a conditional entry, not have been caught by police, not have any signature obligation, and any ongoing legal cases. You should be a domestic worker. This means you need to work in childcare, elderly or patient care, like houseworks. Letter of undertaking. This letter of undertaking is an official document. You need to go to notary with your employer, and the employer declares that he or she will employ the foreign employee for a certain period and will act in accordance with the working conditions, and they can cover all your expenses, and they will pay your salary. And any other documents of the employer and employee that the immigration office will ask for. Acquisition of Turkish citizenship, because sometimes I have clients from other nationalities, they ask me about how to take Turkish citizenship because they are living in Turkey more than 5 years. These are the general conditions. Be in the age of majority, this means more than 18 years old, and have the capacity to act either according to his or her own national law, has been resident in Turkey without interruption for 5 years. This B, subtopic B, is the general way, the ordinary way to get the citizenship. You need to stay in Turkey 5 years without an interruption. Verify his or her determination to settle down in Turkey with his or her manners. Like, you need to have a sufficient Turkish and Turkish culture knowledge. Have no disease constituting an obstacle with respect to public health, and be of good moral character. Be able to speak a sufficient level of Turkish, have income or profession to provide for maintenance for himself, herself, and his or her dependents in Turkey, have no quality constituting an obstacle with respect to national security and public order. This means that you don't, you should not have any kind of previously criminal records. I think this is important to mention because sometimes, like the foreigners come here and they engage or want to marry with Turkish guys, and sometimes this will create some problems because I need to say that maybe you know it, but the important thing is the real marriage is the civil marriage in Turkey. We have religious marriage, but it is not the real one. This means like if you have this religious marriage, you're not the real wife. So if a guy says that let's come and have a religious marriage, I say you should think it twice because most probably he will have a first real wife. So this will cause so many problems in terms of hireship because you're not taking his surname. You are not the real wife in terms of laws, so you are not the hire if he that's before you. And if you have child's custody will problem, and of course division of property will be a problem. These are really important. The current framework is primarily based on Turkish Civil Code, which was first adopted in 1926, taking inspiration from the Swiss Civil Code. The Turkish family law system is founded on several fundamental principles that guide its application and interpretation. These include gender equality, protection of family unit, the best interests of children, and state protection of the family institution. As I said before, if you have the legal age 18 years, you can marry. Of course, there are other criteria. You must not be currently married to someone else, and you must not be closely related by blood, the one that you are going to marry. And if you are a foreign national, they will ask for other documents from your home country with apostille certification and notarization as well. And let's say if you marry with a Turkish guy and you decided to divorce, we have some grounds for divorce in our code, and they are including adultery, maltreatment, criminal activity, abandonment, mental illness, and irretrievable breakdown of the marriage. And this is irretrievable breakdown of the marriage is the most commonly used ground. These are the grounds. If you don't have these grounds, you can't divorce. And we have two types of divorce. One is contested and the other is uncontested. In uncontested divorce, you need to should be married at least 1 year. This is important. Like if you are married for 3 months, you can't divorce with uncontested way. And you need to have a lawyer in that way. And you come together with the lawyers and your spouse, and you will have an agreement covering all aspects, including property division, alimony, and child custody. And then you submit it to court, and court checked the details and said, okay, you can divorce. In contested divorce, it requires a court intervention, and it takes really like more than 4 or 5 years. It's really hard to solve these cases because the judge wants to see witnesses. Like it's a long way. These proceedings can become lengthy and complex, and of course money-consuming, often requiring multiple hearings and possibility expert opinions, especially when child custody is in dispute. Of course, divorce results in the termination of the marital bond with several legal consequences. Property acquired during marriage is subject to division of common property in Turkey unless you agreed otherwise. This is important. If you marry with a guy in Turkey and you acquire a property, even it is with your own money, if you don't agree otherwise, this means you bought it together. So if you decide to divorce, this means the court will divide into 2 equally. So this is important. If you buy a car with your own money, it's the same for it. So be careful. The court may also order one supposed to pay alimony in Turkey to the other if the divorce will cause significant financial hardship. If you have a child, for example, and you need to take care of it, the court will order alimony. Alimony can be temporary or permanent depending on the circumstances, including the duration of the marriage and the recipient's ability to support themselves. But if you are earning more than your ex, suppose, you don't have this alimony that much. Child's custody and support. When determining child custody and support in Turkey, of course, courts prioritize the best interest of the child, and they check he is happy or she is happy with mom or dad. They check the living conditions, everything. They listen also the child in the court. Factors considered include the child's age, relationship with each parent, stability of home environment, and parents' ability to meet child needs, of course. Historically, Turkish courts tended to grant custody to mothers, but today in modern world it changed. It's just they consider the above mentioned criteria and they will decide about the custody. Property regimes in marriage, I told you that it's equally shared, but when you are marrying, if you decide on a different regime, of course you need to mention it that we choose the other regime. The default property regime in Turkish marriage is the regime of participation in acquired property. Under this system, assets acquired during marriage, except for certain exclusions, become subject to equal division upon divorce. But of course, if you have a car before your marriage and you can prove that you buy it with your own money and before your marriage, it's yours. This regime balances individual property rights with recognition of the marital partnership. It distinguishes between personal property, as I said, owned before marriage or received as gift inheritance, and acquired property obtained during marriage through work or business. Couples may opt for alternative property regimes through prenuptial agreements. These must be executed before a notary public. This is also important. You need to go to notary and say that we choose this option. Other than that, it's not a valid agreement. Such agreements allow couples to tailor financial arrangements to their specific needs and circumstances. Foreign nationals should note that the property regimes from their home countries may not automatically apply in Turkey without the proper documentation. And sometimes, of course, like family formation is a common pathway for foreign nationals to get Turkish citizenships. Spouses of Turkish citizens may qualify for residence permit and eventually citizenship under certain conditions. A Turkish immigration lawyer and a family lawyer can assist foreign spouses in navigating the necessary procedures, which typically include obtaining short-term residence permit initially and followed by application for long-term permits and then for the application of citizenships. This part is also important because it's important for you to know what to do in case somebody commits a crime towards you. Also, criminal law in Turkey is based on Turkish criminal code. It defines what actions are considered crimes and set punishments for those crimes. The main goal is to ensure justice and prevent crimes and protect the rights of both victims and suspects. The legal process in Turkey starts with an investigation. Police and prosecutors collect evidence and decide whether a case should go to trial or there is no crime. If a trial happens, the court examines all the evidence before making a decision. Every person accused of a crime has right to defend themselves, have a lawyer, and receive a fair trial. These are the typical crimes under our law. Crimes against individuals, against society, against states, and property crimes, and these all have different sanctions, of course. Common crimes and penalties under Turkish criminal code, for example, theft. It occurs when someone unlawfully takes another person's property. The punishment for theft varies depending on the amount stolen and the manner in which the crime was committed. In general, the penalty ranges from 2 to 7 years in prison. But sometimes, if the one who commits a crime doesn't have any other crimes before, the court will evaluate this and they will change it into fines. Murder and assault. Murder is one of the most serious crimes, often punishable by life imprisonment. Assault crimes vary in penalties depending on the severity of the injury and the intent of the perpetrator. A defendant who intentionally caused harm to another person can face significant prison sentences. Murder and assault. Murder is one of the most serious crimes, often punishable by life imprisonment. This is the same, sorry. Fraud. Fraud is a crime that involves deceiving others to obtain money or property. The punishment depends on the extent of the deception and the number of victims involved. So, what to do if a foreigner is arrested in Turkey? Contact a Turkish lawyer immediately. Ensure to inform your embassy. Please, this is important, do not sign a document without a lawyer because you don't know that Turkish that much, so you can't understand it. Demand a Turkish translator if you need, but in any case, demand it. And exercise your right to remain silent. We have this right in our code until your lawyer arrives. And these are the things that I mentioned. I hope this is productive for you. And thank you for listening. And if you have questions, any questions, I'm here to answer.
Hi, my name is Masood.
Hello.
I have a small condition regarding my mom.
Mm-hmm.
She was working here for quite a long time
Mm-hmm.
at the Swedish embassy.
Mm-hmm.
She tried to acquire the Turkish citizenship because she was working here for almost 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
But when she went to the Göçü Dairesi,
Mm-hmm.
they never grant her. And they said that you are working at the Swedish embassy, go and take your citizenship from them. Nice answer.
The thing that I mentioned before, they examine it case by case, so it's not true to say something like without examining all this application file, but if she lives here for 35 years and if she knows like the basic Turkish, like Turkish culture, there would be no problem, but they make a security check sometimes and we can't see that screen like legally, so maybe there will be some issues related to it because she's working in an embassy.
She went with her lawyer anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and they still denied it.
They can file a case upon rejection, maybe. Does she know it?
I have no idea, but do you think it might be a trouble because actually we are dual citizens, Filipino Iranians.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that having the third citizenship might acquire a problem with that? Or
Has she-
conflict with that? Because my mom is married to an Iranian, my father, so...
That will be a problem, yes. Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Mom, I have some question about termination. What if the employer, for example, she doesn't want to, she's going to terminate that contract, and then the employee asking, Mom, don't terminate. If it is okay that I will transfer to other, but she doesn't want. The employer wanted the workers going back home. So it's that possible also? There is a...
This is one of the main problems.
Problem, yes. Exactly.
Yes, if you, the thing, this is why I told it before, if you have chance to speak problems together, if the intention is good, then there should be no problem. Like she should say that, okay, let's terminate and you can transfer to, I can transfer to someone else. But if you have problem with that, maybe you will ask for help of, I don't know, maybe embassy, or you can say that I need this job, I want to stay in Turkey, so let's do it together, let's settle down. That will be the solution. But yes, she has that right. She can terminate it, and yes, you can transfer it, unfortunately.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello.
My main question is, for example, my contract will finish and I don't want to renew my contract at the same employer. Does my employer have rights to going back to Philippines, or I can stay here and find another employer? Because soon my contract is finished, and then for some reasons I need to another renew them.
If you the party who needs to renew the work permit is the employer. So if you have still time after your contract finished, but generally you don't have, this means you can stay here and look for another job. But when your contract terminated, it finished, this means your work permit also ends. So again, the way should be to talk with the employer, and but the thing there is, they will most probably say that I am the one who paid for the permit application, work permit application, so they want you to work with them. Otherwise, you need to be back to your home.
So it depends also on the employer, ma'am, I think, right?
Yes.
Ma'am, thank you.
You're welcome. Maybe you will suggest that I can pay my application fee, work permit fee, and let me stay for a while, but then I would like to look for another job.
Because ma'am, they are leaving next year to other country, and I don't want to go with them.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why I want to stay here.
Okay,
because I
so
like-
they will understand it.
Yes, me
They
too.
will understand if you say that I want to stay in Turkey and I don't want to come with you, and I can pay my work permit expenses. Maybe they will accept it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon. My question is, they say somebody told us that if you surrender your KIMLEC when you have, for example, the one that I belong to the group with of this kind, she surrendered already her KIMLEC, and she got from.
Sorry, you say kimlik, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
the working ID,
Okay.
permit ID, and she have received this something amount from the security system. Is there any years to complete? For example, if I reach 5 years already in Turkey and I want to stay in the Philippines already and finish my job here, though I have to comply in security and get from them the one that my employer paid for me.
You mean security check?
Yes, a refund, what I mean, or the benefits from the security.
Social security, you said. Okay,
Yes,
With
yeah.
the contribution of the
Yeah,
employer,
yeah.
you wanted to take that one for 5 years. Like,
If that is case, because there are one I know that when she surrendered her working permit and the security system, the one that her employee contributes, she received some kind of amount.
Yes, if you get retired, in
Yeah.
Turkey, if you comply with all the conditions,
Yes.
you can entitle a money from a kind of a retirement pay. It's true.
Is there any such years, for example?
It depends on, because if you have any other work days in other countries, if Turkey, for example, let's say in Philippines, you worked Philippines for, let's say, 10 years. If we have co-agreements with Philippines in terms of social security in Turkey, they will count your work days in Philippines here as well. So this means you need to work here less. But if they say no, we can't count those days there. For example, with Germany, we have this agreement. If I work in Germany and then turn back to Turkey, the Turkish authorities accept my work days in Germany. But I'm not sure about Philippines. I will check. This means you need to work less here to be able to retire. But if they say no, we can't accept, this means you need to work a lot. It's like,
Okay, thank you.
it's like till 60 years or something. It's much, too much in Turkey. I mean 60 years old, of course.
Hi, attorney. We have a case here involving a Filipino worker who was required to work in 2 households. The worker informed her employer that that is a violation of their employment contract. So what the employer did, she became mad and canceled her work permit. Yeah, her working permit. So that means that she's now illegal. So is there any other protections available for the worker? If so, what steps should she take next?
To become legal.
Yes.
Yes. First, she needs to find a new possible employer. So that with that, we will go and arrange all these documents I mentioned, and then go to Göç İdaresi and apply for work permit. Without an employer, she can't do it.
So, but is there a penalty for the employer? I mean,
For the
of course-
employer,
Yes, of course, she's worker should not be allowed to work in 2 households.
she can go to courts, first mediator, and then courts.
Okay.
This will be the way.
Is there a free legal service for this?
Sorry?
Is there a free legal service?
Free legal, sorry.
I mean, not to you, and you know.
No, some bars, I don't know where she lives, but some bars help, like, it's not free, but with a little amount.
Accept like pro bono, like.
Ücretinin falan olması lazım.
Yes.
Vardı ya.
Hı hı.
Vardı ama onların
Yes.
aldıkları maaşın üstünde.
If she doesn't have any kind of salary or nothing, maybe she can go to a bar and accept, but if she gets contact with me, I try to help.
Okay. For those employer who failed to renew the social security of the worker, so what would happen? Like, is there any like penalty for the?
Of course, the employee needs to go to social security institution and make a complaint about the employer, and then the social security institution will issue fines to employer.
Okay. But the problem is, some workers they're afraid to lodge their
Of course.
complaint because the employer will cancel their work permit. So what will be the best step to?
Maybe it's just saying that I go to a hospital and I can't access to health care. So is it okay for you to check if you are paying my premiums or not?
Okay.
That will be the way.
I just have a question. I have a friend, she worked here for 20 years, legal, working permit, and she ended her contract, and she has social security. But her employer sent her back to Philippines, give her $5,000. She didn't get her social security. Is there possibility that she can get it? But she's in the Philippines now.
But you mean she retired here? Do you know it? A
Uh,
legal retirement?
no.
No. So she couldn't get any social security. Because the employer pays. If she retires, the employer has to pay it. So maybe this 5,000 will be like this.
So there's no possibility that she can get it.
I don't know. I need to check all the. Huh?
because
Yok,
she worked for 20 years.
You don't ask about severance pay, right? You ask for social security pay. No. If she haven't retired yet, this means there is no receivable. But if she retired, yes, she has. She's right. Okay.
Question?
Hello, thank you for your presentation. I have 3 questions for the embassy, or at least based on our experience working. First question, we heard there was this article that came out last year from Daily Sabah, which said that for foreigners to get married in Türkiye, they need a residence permit. Is this true? Because we've been trying to look for a law. So is there a residence permit requirement for foreigners?
No.
Okay.
You can say.
Okay, thank you. Not for me, but for other Filipinos. Second question. So sometimes we have some Filipino citizens who get deported. They get caught in Kisilay and then they are sent to Akert for deportation. Sometimes when money is found in their person, it is confiscated by the Turkish government. Is this legal? Is there a basis for this?
They are allowed to take all the belongings like handies, like phones, everything. So they can take it, but then when they decide to send her back to country, they need to give it back.
So even the cash they need to give back?
Yes.
Ya suça ait bir şey.
Yes, if it is not a kind of a money that is related to a crime, of course. If it is her money, it's okay, they need to give it back. But if not, so they have right to take it.
Okay, thank you. Last question. We also heard a rumor that once a person retires, the employer has to continue paying Segeka even after retirement. Is this based on law or not?
If he or she still continues to work in the same place, of course they can pay. If even she is retired, for example, in our law office we have an employee. He is retired. He's 60 years old, something, but still he's working legally, so we are paying his premiums, social security premiums. But if she or he doesn't want to work, no need to pay.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Rosemary. I was divorced for 6 years now, and my question is, almost 2 years now, I did not get my nafaka. My ex stopped it, and also, how do I get it back?
But still, as per the judgment of the court, you have rights to take it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So this is the way that you need to take the sentence, like the decision of the court, and you will go to execution office. And of course, it is better to do it with an attorney because it's hard for you to go there. They can't understand it was probably in English. So like we do like this. We prepare an execution file for that, and then they send a notification. The government, we call it icra dairesi, execution office. They send a notification to your ex to say that you have 7 days to pay it. Otherwise, you will have for nafaka. They will have imprisonment, right? If they don't pay it. So if he doesn't pay it. It is written like that. If you pay in 7 days, it's okay, with all the interests coming for 2 years. But if he doesn't pay it, so this means he will have imprisonment.
Okay, I have another question. He bought 3 houses and a car.
When you are married?
During our procedure of divorce, but still not divorced. So all of that things, he put it in the name of her sister, his sister.
So this is the problem, yes. If there are on his name. This means if he doesn't pay nafaka, we can ask for the execution office to put an we call it hajiz, like I forgot the English. Just a second.
Prescription.
Yeah, yes. So, but if it is on sister's name, we can file a law, but it will take like more time to find it, to prove that it is his car. Do you know, for example, does he pay it or he transferred the money to his sister, or you need to find out them first?
Yeah, I think it's a very long process.
Yes.
And also my children, they are all big now.
Mm-hmm.
So do they have right to take some support from the father, like this, the things that he bought, the houses and the cars, because they are all big now?
It's the same. Like if they want to file a case, we call it like the cancellation of buying, let's say in English. If we do that cancellation file and if we win the case, this means we will take your shares from them.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Ama zaman aşımı çok da geçilmez.
But we have statute of we have a statute of limitation for that kind of cases. So you said 6 years ago.
Yes, it's been a long time.
So maybe yes, it will be hard to do it.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I think also.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that true that the employer is only paying only for 1 month, or for example 1 year? Is that true, or it's depends?
Every month we need to pay your social security premiums.
So
It's
it means
monthly.
it's monthly.
Yes.
Not yearly.
No, monthly. For example, let's say we are on June now. At the end of this month, we need to pay your premiums of May, like the previous month.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, it's the thing that we are paying it not to you, to Turkish government.
Yes, I know that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon. My question is, because some of the Filipina is running away from their employer, and then the agency, they make a group chat that all the Filipina running away, they put in a blacklist. If they will apply the residence permit or working permit, is this connected to controversy?
If the employer make a report to police and you have this deport, this means yes, you are on the blacklist. But if the agency says that I have a blacklist, of course it is something
Because they just only saying that they only threatening the Filipinas, so they are not doing running away from their
I mentioned about it. If you have a record or you have deported before, once you become illegal, this is not good. Yes.
That's it, madam. Thank you.
Thank you.
No more question?
Questions po? Katanungan?
Okay.
Hi, ma'am. I have another question. As you mentioned before, ma'am, we can apply citizenship here as long as we work 5 years in one employer, right? So what if
no need to only one employer. You need to reside in Turkey for 5 years.
It is continuous because I have a friend, she's working like 6 years, and then but she stopped working 1 year and she stayed in the Philippines, and then after 1 year she come back at the same employer. She can apply or go back to no, as long as she
interrupted.
So the 5 years is continuously.
Yes, continuously. We have exceptions, but it's like 2 or 3 months, something, not 1 year.
Okay, that's it. Just want to clear. Thank you so much.
Question po.
Okay, thank you for listening.